Who doesn't love an underdog story? Because I sure do. And the NFL is filled with these fairy tale-like journeys. From Darius Williams to J.J. Taylor, here are the greatest underdog moments in the NFL. And I have to start with the all-time classic. Vince Papale is one of the oldest rookies to make it big. I can guarantee that by the end of this, if this doesn't motivate you to go out there and chase your dreams, then well, nothing will.
Long yardage needed for the first down, and Gabriel hits Vince Papale at midfield. That is not enough for the first down.
Oh, and if you think you're too old or that you missed the opportunity and now you have to be stuck regretting your decisions for the rest of your life, then boy, you better listen to this carefully. We all have an idea or rough sketch of what you have to do to get into one of these leagues. A, you need to be the football jock in high school and try to catch the attention of one of the scouts.
Vince Papale, number 83, the second-year wide receiver.
B, you then need to try and get drafted. And then C, you need to work super hard and then enjoy all those checks. Okay.
Had a long conversation with Josh McDaniels, reviewing the last series, double clutches, and then drops it off for J.J. Taylor, who breaks a hit in the open field.
If that dream sequence doesn't work, then you can try the longer route and try getting drafted during the college stage. At this point, I guess you should get an idea of what you need to do. But well, none of these mentions just casually walking in, because it usually doesn't work. But in the case of Vince Papale, it worked. In 1974, Papale was a high school teacher in Philly and somehow managed a spot on the team Philadelphia Bell. Though the team was soon dissolved, Papale's mini performance seemed to impress the general manager of the Eagles. Yep, a high school teacher. He ended up playing 3 seasons for them, and at the age of 30, he became one of the oldest rookies to play for a team. The next story, however, is the complete opposite.
Changing the play. Jack, what the hell is he doing?
Let's look at Darius Williams and his road of failures. A bit of a spoiler, but this road of failures leads to gold at the end. So Williams was just another high school teen who dreamed of making it to the NFL.
In front of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
Well, that's at least what his coaches thought, because to Darius, there was no doubt that he would make it big in the big league. Though I don't think he had an idea about what he was about to embark on, because the guy had to face setback after setback after setback. After failing to make it to one of the big footballing schools, Darius found himself at Marietta College, which is a subpar school at best. There, he played Division III football for over a year before he faced his next hurdle: family problems.
Jones steps up and fires, and it's picked off! Darius Williams!
The aspiring star had to cut his school career off early and later resumed this at the University of Alabama. That came with its own problems too. You gotta feel for the guy, cause honestly, I don't think many people would have even made it this far, and this was just the beginning of his journey.
Interference call late against Buffalo, which extended their go-ahead drive. This week, Williams diving in front of...
He failed to join the team on the first tryout, but managed a spot the next year after casually walking in. Do you see the character arc improving? After a few more rocky years of being passed over in the NFL drafts to being released by the Raves, Williams finally found a home in the LA Rams. With them, he got a well-deserved reward for all his hard work in the shape of the Super Bowl.
Most people, when they bring the blitz, hey, we've got to be able to take advantage of that. Instead, they've had too many bad plays.
Wilson steps up, throws, end zone, picked off!
Yep, dreams come true. And now I'm just waiting on Williams' movie, because this is one hell of a journey. And well, this determination seems to be at the core of all these underdog stories, because it was Kurt Warner and his determination against the world. A quick summary: if you believe in what you want to achieve and believe you want that, then no force on earth is going to stop you from getting it. Unlike the rest, Kurt had a pretty decent start in his high school days, as he represented the University of Northern Iowa. In his senior year, he was even named the best defensive player of the year, but sadly, this didn't catch the eye of the NFL teams, and you thought you had high expectations. His tale didn't improve much for some time, because the future legend at one time found himself stocking shelves at an Iowa grocery store for $5 an hour. It seemed like his run was over, and he was just another high school burnout, but I guess that's what separates him from you and me. He didn't give up. 3 years later, while playing for the Iowa Barnstormers, he got his big break when when he was offered a contract by the St. Louis Rams. Wait, there's a twist. Warner was first sent to their European League team, the Amsterdam Admirals. 2 years later, he was called to the NFL after the Rams lost their quarterback, and the rest is, well, the rest is history. So if you ever think that you've burned out, then just remember this. It's most probably your moment to prove the world, and just remember to stay as determined as Warner. And who knows, you might end up in the NFL Hall of Fame. Now, what if you've got other barriers, like height or strength? Well, they didn't stop J.J. Taylor, and they shouldn't stop you either. You imagine big, tall dudes who are super jacked, and if you aren't that physically gifted, then most people will say that you've got no chance. But that's what people do. Tell you to quit on your dreams so that they aren't the only ones that do so. Well, this approach didn't work for Taylor, who made it to the NFL's highest level while being 5'5". Oh, go ahead and rewind. I won't say it again. Just wait for you to listen to it on repeat until you actually believe it. Taylor was super athletic in high school, was named Mr. Football, and was regarded as the best defensive player in all of California. Now that's a title you want if football is your entire world. Though at one point, it seemed as though Mr. Football would never be playing again. He faced a season-ending ankle injury in his freshman year and had to battle pretty hard to make a comeback. Though he did get outstanding records in the next 3 years, he was left undrafted. NFL teams didn't think a man his size was fit for their team, but like always, they were wrong. Taylor was later signed by the New England Patriots and is still currently playing for them. Though his story right now hasn't ended, I would suggest you remember the name, because before you know it, his name will end up in the NFL Hall of Fame. Just make sure to remember me when it happens. So, what did all these stories have in common? You can probably notice that these players had different stories in different periods and faced different problems. Some had physical limitations, some were burnt out, and some just didn't get that spark off the get-go. But they all had that ethic, that mindset that no matter what came their way, they'd fight it, and that's how they reached the top. That's what was common in all these stories: determination, bad luck, and the golden mindset. Because honestly, it's not just about talent. And hey, don't take my word for it. Just look at these real-life stories. You'll see for yourself that all you need to chase those stars is a little support from yourself. That's all for me on the greatest NFL underdog moments. See you in the next video.
You had to score every time you touched the ball. You threw every down. It helped me become more accurate.
St. Louis, the gateway to the West, is now the gateway to the best football team.
Everybody's excited about it. It was a tremendous stress, and he handled that exceptionally well.
Once down 21-3 in this game. Inside. The turnover in the end zone. Jones steps up and fires, and it's picked off. Darius Williams.